Milton Nash.
Good evening. There's agreement tonight on the First Amendment to our new Constitution. It comes at the end of a two-day conference on native rights. The amendment doesn't promise immediate action. It promises more talk. Native leaders now have a guarantee they'll be sitting down with government leaders again to talk about their rights. Whit Fraser reports.
The problems the native groups in the provinces and federal government had today were perhaps more because of their different traditions than different political beliefs. There was a tense moment at the beginning as prairie Indian people stopped to pray.
Are you going to pray every morning in public?
Yes, sir.
And while there are differences in some areas, there is also common ground.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
When the customary peace pipe was passed, it appeared the conference was seeing enough of tradition and wanted more talk. Until it was passed to Canada's most famous smoker. A politician is a politician, but a good pipe is a smoke. At the outset, it looked as though native groups had made a major breakthrough. A draft agreement guaranteeing future meetings and a statement of principle of Aboriginal rights was presented. And it seemed a sure bet until the native organizations pushed for more.
We'd like to see in the accord the two following principles. The principle that there must be recognition of a land base for the Aboriginal peoples, and as well a principle dealing with fiscal arrangements.
The Aboriginal people of Canada have the rights to the land and water and to the resources thereof, which have served as basis for the self-sufficiency and the development of native community.
This document, Prime Minister, is not an accurate statement of what was agreed last evening, and I'm concerned that if we attempt around this table to begin to add and subtract, that we will lose what we agreed upon last night.
Certainly from Ontario's perspective, without commenting on the additions or deletions or alterations, the general tenor of what has been developed here, we find supportable.
But the draft was sent back, while the conference moved on to other items. And something else these sessions haven't seen. People taking a place at the table, telling the First Ministers how their personal rights are affected. Native women asking for constitutional guarantees they won't lose their status if they marry whites. It's an explosive issue among Indian leaders, and they said it's one that should be left alone.
You know, we have for years tried to get this, so don't try and reverse this on us.
As the afternoon wore on, it was the native groups doing all the talking, explaining their position on self-government and a land base. The premiers became more interested. They seemed to become more comfortable with the whole exercise, and when the draft agreement came down, they were ready to sign. The mood of the conference visibly lifted. There are 3 constitutional amendments. The first guarantees at least 2 more of these sessions. All present and future Aboriginal claims will be protected by the Constitution, and native women will have equality. As the mood lifted for Bill Wilson, who spoke about the aspirations of 2 young daughters, that's an important issue.
Both of whom want to be the Prime Minister. Tell them I'll stick around till they're ready. Mr. Chairman, I'm informed by the government of British Columbia that one of them could be out here on a plane this evening.
And so they signed, including British Columbia, that resisted the most.
We have made a genuine beginning, a beginning that I think really bodes well for future deliberations.
Rennie Levesque said he couldn't sign on principle.
I say without any bitterness, we will not sign this accord.
The native group said they didn't get all they wanted, but most thought they hadn't done badly.
There is enough goodwill, and there has been enough goodwill and trust in this meeting to enable us to go forward in developing our relations.
It's pretty hard when you're dealing with the stubbornness of some of the provincial governments in terms of their provincial power bases, as they seem to think it really is in that sense. And, you know, all our people want is their rightful place.
It's a beginning. We recognize the fact that that provinces are very reluctant to to agree to anything that they don't understand. But this is nothing new to us. We have had a long history of educating European Canadians of what Inuit are, and we're prepared to keep doing that, and we're prepared to sign this accord.
I would say to the Aboriginal people that they're doing pretty well, and I hope that they will continue and pick up speed.
For the two territories and the native groups, the most encouraging thing is that they're here. They're a part of the Constitution. They say there'll be no turning back. Whit Fraser, CBC News, Ottawa.